It is here at Ziklag that David heard the word that Saul was killed on Mount Gilboa. An Amalekite told him about this, and after that he had the Amalekite killed. And after this he mourned for Saul for many days and wrote a beautiful poem about the Anointed of Israel falling upon Mount Gilboa. Let's read about him transferring or taking the kingdom from Saul and then going to Hebron, where there he made his headquarters for about 7 years. Let's read about it in 2 Samuel chapter 2, verse 1. And it happened after this that David inquired of the Lord, saying, Shall I go up to any of the cities of Judah? And the Lord said to him, Go up, David said. Where shall I go up? And he said, To Hebron. So David went up there, and his 2 wives also, Ahinoam the Jezreelite, and Abigail, the widow of Nabal the Carmelite. And David brought up the men who were with him, every man with his household. So they dwelt in the city of Hebron. Then the men of Judah came, and there they anointed David king over the house of Judah. And they told David, saying, The men of Jabesh Gilead were the ones who buried Saul. So David sent messengers to the men of Jabesh Gilead, and said to them, You are blessed of the Lord, for you have shown the kindness to your Lord, to Saul, and have buried him. And now may the Lord show kindness and truth to you. I also will repay you this kindness, because you have done this thing. Now therefore let your hands be strengthened, and be valiant. For your master Saul is dead, and also the house of Judah has anointed me king over them. And now here is Ari Bar David to tell us more about David beginning his reign over Israel from the town of Hebron.
So we are still here in Ziklag because the story happened here. We are still in the house, maybe one of the houses that belonged to David. As you see now, the stones are not so black. He started painting them. But surprise, a stranger is knocking on the door. Who are you? David asked him. And he says, I am an man that came from the battle of Mount Gilboa. Now, we are here in front of one of the most amazing stories that many scholars try to understand what happened behind it. Why? Because David is meeting the young man that said that he was the one that killed Saul. I mean, the man said it in his mouth. I have killed Saul. And what was the end of this young man? David killed him. But we will talk about this a little later. Let us see first of all when it happened. The Bible says that David just arrived. He was 2 days here from the time that he was beating the Amalekites, you remember, beyond the Besor brook. And after 2 days, a young man is coming. Now, when this young man is coming, David is very suspicious of him immediately. First of all, the young man looks strange. He was putting, his clothes were torn, he had dust on his head, and as we know, this we call a man like this that is a man that is announcer. And whenever you have a good announce, you dress nice. Whenever you have a bad announce, you are putting dust, you turn your clothes. But there was something strange in this boy which made David to be so suspicious that he asked him 3 questions. And in these 3 questions, the first was, he asked him, where have you come from? And of course he said, from the camp of Israel. And David asked immediately, how did the matter go? Please tell me. And of course then he told what happened there on Mount Gilboa. And he asked him the 3rd question, how do you know? No, look, not always David had such suspicious. We just have seen before there was another young man that David caught him when he was running after the Amalekites. He didn't ask him a question. It looked that he believed him. But this one was suspicious. And as we will see later on, there was a full reason of David to be suspicious of him. And mainly when he told David, I was there by chance. An Amalekite, which is living far away, the way to Egypt, is by chance on Mount Gilboa. Cannot be. He was a liar. And David found it very quick. But this we will see on the next time.